wish more women knew that not seeing the life that we thought we would have come to fruition is actually grief. Tracee Ellis Ross just named that particular type of grief. She said that she often finds herself mourning not being partnered and not having children. That type of grief hits very differently, right? You're not missing someone who left, okay? You're missing someone who never even showed up. You're
Yeah, I guess it's going to be one of those type of videos, y'all. I always like to give credit to the content creator, so that link will be down in the description. Regardless of whether I agree with it or not, thank you guys for sending it to me. Make sure y'all get that Teach Hanley 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. And subscribe and hit a like for the algorithm on YouTube. Let's get into it, man.
grieving someone who was never even born. And I find it so fascinating because being single in this society is such a double-edged sword, right? On one hand, it is glamorized. It's soft life, me era, solo travel vibes, all the things. And then on the other hand, it's stigmatized, quietly judged, like there has to be something wrong with you, which we know that that's not the case, right? But the craziest part is that for this type of grief, there is no ritual. There is no funeral or memorial service like when we lose somebody in the physical realm. There is no divorce party when you finally leave that man. No outpouring of love and gifts and support when you miscarry a child. There is no closure. Even as a friend, I've had to check myself, right? Because my instinct is to fix it, to throw a solution at it, to cheerlead, to play matchmaker, and make sure that they know that they are so much more than being someone's wife, being someone's mother. But real support is just sitting in the discomfort. It's to say, I see you. Not necessarily, oh girl, be patient, he's coming when the time is right, because that's not necessarily the case either. Because here's the truth, being partnered does not guarantee you won't be lonely. Shout out to Cecilia Regina and her Lonely Wife series. If you know, you know. So maybe the real life, the real glow up is in learning to grieve what never was, what never might be, and still learning to build a beautiful life anyway.
I went to a family event today, and it was eye-opening. And the reason that it was eye-opening was because all of the women in my family, and you guys know me, I have one of those type of families where we don't believe in divorce. And all three of my brothers, no sisters, no divorces. Everything is what it is. And, I believe that there's a formula for being successfully married. I myself have been married for over 21 years, or almost 21 years. It'll be 21 years in June, and then we'll be past the 21 years. But I myself have been married for over 2 decades, since I was 22 years old. And I would consider myself to be successfully married. Been through the ups and the downs financially, but overall, it has been a phenomenal existence. None of us have any children out of wedlock. It just is what it is, right? And I say that because we kind of went through a little bit of a drought in my family as far as children being born. And today, there's a plethora of babies. It's almost like all of the married couples, the younger married couples, that is, are having children. All of my cousins and nephews and all of that, right? All of them married, all of them having children. And so there was literally like four babies and then two on the way. One is 6 months pregnant, so on and so forth. So I was holding one of the babies because one of my cousins was like, Anton, you got to hold him. And it was girls and boys, lots of boys being born. And so I'm holding him and I'm looking at him. And I realized, bear with me now, I realized that children are the closest thing to pure. I mean, pure godliness. It is the closest thing that you're going to get to being unbiased. Before culture puts in all of the bullshit, before, any kind of mindset about what a relationship could be and all of this other stuff, right? And even my 17-year-old daughter, who is very much just straight up on being a kid. I won't even let her get a job. I let her travel the world and see other cultures and stuff like that because, you know, I want her to maintain her innocence and to live her childhood as long as possible instead of trying to train her on what to be an adult. She has the rest of her life to be an adult. And I say all that. I preface my commentary on this video because I want to tell you how miserable women have become. I mean, absolutely miserable, grieving the life that you never had, even though you've had the option to choose to do whatever it is that you want to do. And you don't have to be single, you don't have to have children. And that's cool. I have no problem with women having choices and doing what they want to do. But they don't want to take ownership and accountability for who it is that they are. And they believe that they're grieving because nobody showed up for them. And it's like, if their friend showing up for them now has to show up for them a specific way in order to grieve the life that they never had. What the fuck are we talking about, bro? What the hell are we talking about? It's like the more choices that we've been given, the more freedom that you have to choose for yourself, the more people are more miserable than ever before. And it honestly takes me back to just holding that baby because it's just like, oh, you so innocent. And it's so much on us to make sure that we give our children the best possible upbringing because it ain't their fault. And it's even to the point to where, you would consider bringing children into this world because it's just a bunch of miserable motherfuckers. It's just taking these commentaries and these interviews of women that just chose to be by themselves and said that they only prefer to date younger men because older men are toxic masculinity, which really they trying to say that they don't want to operate within a traditional mindset, but they want a traditional provider and protector. And so when you see these women online just talking and talking and talking and expressing their thoughts, and they think that they're so deep, when y'all see me in this video, nowadays I go and do a little bit of research. And so I go in the comments, and it was a person in the comments that literally said they wrote a letter to their past life or to the life that they never had. Hold on, let me see if I can find this shit. I don't know if I can find it, bro. I don't know if I can find it, but it was some crazy junk that they had said, bro. It was insane. They said, hold on. I just wrote a letter to the life I thought I was going to have. It was liberating. I cried so hard. And the content creator, who I'm giving credit to, the link is in the description, says this is such a beautiful way to exercise the emotion. Did you come up with this for yourself or a therapist? And get the fuck out of here, bro. I mean, it's just make me want to throw my phone because it's just like, yo, Tracee Ellis Ross could, just like her mother, have lived a different life, but chose to be out here in these streets. Now you're grieving a choice that you made, and then we're supposed to think that there's some deep shit. No, it's not no deep shit. We have one life to live. We have an informed decision to make, and it is pretty much guaranteed that you can have the results that you want if you make an informed decision on how it is that you're supposed to move. And nowadays, we like to make excuses for people that do not want to take ownership and accountability. But the only thing that I personally seen Tracee Ellis Ross do during that interview is blame everybody else for whatever her life, her mentality is that then was derived from her experiences that ultimately was bestowed upon her by her mother, who was also rumored to be super promiscuous. And no accountability will ever be taken from any of these women on any platform as to the life that they chose for themselves, even though they advocated for the freedom to do so. It is the most miserable existence that I've ever seen in my entire life. But it is entertaining. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. One take Anton. I'm not about to be chopping and screwing these videos with my thoughts and breaking it down, trying to sound deep. I just want to get y'all straight to the meat and the potatoes, and we just gonna break this down and make it exactly what it is, so we can really come to terms and conclusion, and hopefully people will have a life event within themselves so that they can come to a better understanding of how they need to move differently, or maybe they can teach their children differently so that they don't end up the way that they do. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I love y'all.